I just want to say that this is not a brag. I am not proud that this happened. I've had years of guilt that I've had to overcome. Really, what it was the crescendo to generations of curses being placed down on our family. So I just want to put it out there. I'm not proud that this happened. I'm not happy that this happened. Maybe these videos will help people that are going through or have gone through what I went through. Maybe if we tell our stories instead of thinking that we need to keep these secrets. Without further rambling, here's this story. I was in high school. A lot of this stuff, like, it started to escalate when I got into high school. So I was in high school and I was on the cheer squad in high school. My mother had brought me home that day and she was in a bad mood and, whatever. This was around the time when she had that conversation with me and my sister about our parents splitting up and her wanting us to go with her and the man that she had met on the cruise ship. I have a little story time about that as well. Something in my spirit is telling me that around that time she had found out that he was entertaining other women and she was upset about that. And somehow anytime my mother got upset, I was the one that got it. I was the one that she took her frustrations out on. So that day, she picked me up from school, and I let her know that I had a mandatory practice. That if I didn't go to this practice, I wouldn't be able to compete. And every year, our squad would compete and we'd go to Disneyland. And I really wanted to do that. We had to be on time. I remember, I think practice was like 4:30 or something like that. And so I go upstairs and I get dressed and I, change out of my school clothes and put on my practice clothes and I come back downstairs and I'm trying to remember this. Some of this is foggy. So I'm trying to, remember it as best I can. So bear with me. She is coming out of the kitchen and she's telling me to do the dishes before I go. Now, to preface this, I had never done the dishes. I had gone up all the way to high school and she never did the things with us. Like she didn't teach us how to cook. She did teach us how to do laundry and to clean our bathrooms. But, we weren't doing dishes. She was doing that. So she wanted me to do the dishes before I went. And looking back, I think she did this on purpose because I told her the practice was mandatory and she knew that if I was late I wouldn't be able to compete. So I think she just wanted to take out her frustrations on me and hurt me and so somebody could be hurt the way that she was hurting. I let her know that I can't do the dishes right now. If I don't go to practice, I'm not going to be able to perform and I will do them when I get back. And for some reason, she didn't want to hear that. And I just remember her yelling and throwing her arms around. And I remember trying to walk away from her. I remember that. And she, like, I don't know if she ran up on me or if she was calling me names or saying something, but in that moment, whatever was happening, I just snapped. I was so angry because I remembered thinking that, like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing this now? And this for me was just years of abuse that I was tired of it. It was enough. I was tired of being a victim. I was tired of being the object of her anger and her resentment, and I physically wanted to fight back. So I just remember grabbing her hair and thinking in that moment, I still remember this thought that I'm just going to rip all of these extensions out of her hair. And so I just grabbed her hair and I was just pulling her hair. And I don't remember, like, if I punched her or whatever, but I think it might have just been hair grabbing and pushing and something like that. And after that, she backed off because I guess she figured that, I wasn't gonna be her victim. She wasn't. I was gonna fight back. She wasn't gonna be able to physically abuse me. That she could do emotional abuse, but she wouldn't be able to escalate to physical. So after that, she walked away and was yelling and saying something to me. I don't know. She might have been calling me names. At that point, it was to the point where she had called me a bitch already. So I was used to her verbal abuse. So she probably, I don't know what she did, but she went into her room and locked the door. And then there was someone rang the doorbell, probably like, I don't know how much longer later, and it was the police. I was outside. I went outside. And so the police drove up, and she walks out of the house. The police talk to me first, and I tell them what happened. I tell them about why, the fight happened. I tell them about the fight. I answer all their questions, and I tell them about her cheating on my father with some guy that she met from off of a cruise ship. And I also told them that she previously had called me out of my name because I wouldn't print out a letter that she had gotten from this guy. So she comes walking out, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "She's a problem child." I remember her saying that. So she just kept going and went in there and told him whatever she told him. And I don't remember what he said, but whatever he said was not supportive of me. It was something like, whatever she did, she had charmed him or whatever. Maybe he just believed everything she said, but whatever he said was, there was no support for me. And so I didn't go to practice. I remember that I did not go to practice. And then later on that night, my father came home, and I thought for sure this was the moment that he was going to at least acknowledge that her affair and involving us, and that their marriage was affecting their children, and that something needed to be done about it, that they had something they needed to do about it. That didn't happen. He, of course, had talked to my mother. She had prefaced him and, you know, did whatever she does, cast whatever spells she casts on him. And he basically said to me that I shouldn't have we should have kept this within the family. Hi, I just wanted to say that at this moment I realized that my mother attacked me. Going through this and listening to what happened awakened an old memory that she attacked me and that I called the police because I didn't feel safe. So, yeah, back to the video. Thinking back to it and thinking to the way my father was talking to me, I was the one who called the police. I called the police because my mother attacked me, and I defended myself. I fought back. That's what happened. That's wild. Something in my spirit said that she has stepped out of a mother role, and now she's acting like a bitch off the street, and we need to be safe. We need to get ourselves to a safe place. So, we need some safety. So, that's what happened. She attacked me, and I called the police. The logical thing to do after an incident like that, and this was what I was thinking at the time, was to go to counseling. They clearly needed healing, so they should have gone to counseling. That didn't happen. Everything went on as it normally would, as if nothing had happened. I really felt like I was going to get into a lot of trouble because of how my father was with my mother. He was very possessive over her. So I thought that because we had gotten into a fight and because it got physical, that he was going to beat me or something was going to happen. But that didn't happen. And something in my spirit is telling me that the reason that didn't happen is because he was probably happy that that happened because he couldn't put his hands on her. He was aware of the things that she was doing, and He didn't want to leave the marriage, but he also had resentment. Maybe he thought that after this happened that she would correct her behavior. But that did not happen. She cooled off for a while. But yeah, I'll say that there was a break in her behavior that stopped things for a while. She stopped cheating and seeing other people, to my knowledge, or at least not openly enough that everyone else could see it, for years after that. So, yeah, that is the true story about the fight between me and my mother. I'd like to know what you think about this mess. How would you have handled that situation? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy these story times, subscribe. I will have more. See you in the next video. Bye.